New on Acadiana's Morning News, the Lafayette Parish Council is giving the green light to retention ponds that LCG says could alleviate flooding on the Vermilion River. Those proposed retention ponds would be located on Lebesque Road near Scott, on Robley Drive just north of the Vermilion Parish line, and on Homewood Drive in Milton. Last night, the council declared the Lebesque Road and Robley Drive retention ponds as public necessities. The council introduced an ordinance to declare the Homewood Drive pond a necessity. While LCG says the ponds will prevent major floods, others are skeptical.
Does it help me and the 500 people that flooded downstream from me and on? No. Does it help the people that came up here and complained about it? No. It's about making money for certain developers, and that's that.
Tommy Gilbo vividly remembers August 12th, 2016.
We were at 6 o'clock in the morning. My wife said, "Wake up, we have water in the house." I got out of bed. There was 6 inches of water. Within 3 hours, it was up to our waist. Right after that, it got up to our shoulders. My dogs are floating around on a couch.
The attorney's home took on 4.5 feet of water. Since then, Gilbo has been fighting to reduce water levels on the Vermilion River. He says dredging the Vermilion would be much more effective and cheaper than these proposed retention ponds.
We have these experts. They say if you do spot dredging and you do take away the spoil banks basically and work on the watershed, you can control the water of the Vermilion. And yet we're sitting here once again as taxpayers going down the tube because they won't get off their behinds and do what's right. And that's spot dredge the Vermilion for $7 million, not $150 million, and do these spoil banks, which is nothing.
Harold Scheffler agrees. The local Sierra Club chairman says these ponds would lower Vermilion River water levels by only 1 inch. He says other projects would have a greater impact on lowering the Vermilion River's water levels.
One would take down the spoil banks. That will lower Lafayette water by our computation 1.5 feet. We can drain Cypress Island into Lake Force Point with a 1 mile piece of a canal. We're working with St. Martin Parish on that. That will lower water levels 5 to 6 feet.
Amazing.
Now, this was a project the Corps put together and modeled in 1994 when we had the 93 flood.
Gilbo also recalled the aftermath of the 1993 flood. He says LCG should study its history to find the solution to its current problems.
In 93, we had a flood. We had 6 inches of water in my house. We got John Bro to help us do spot dredging of the Vermilion River. We dug all that out, and we haven't had we didn't flood again until 2016. But when we did, it was a hell of a flood because you've got all these hills now, made from and need to be spot dredged. It worked before, it'll work again.
During the parish council meeting, Mayor President Josh Guillory says LCG is working with the St. Martin Parish government to remove the spoil banks in the Atchafalaya Basin to improve water flow and lower water levels in the Teche-Vermilion district. Guillory also says these retention ponds are in the preliminary stages.
This is one of many possible projects, and this particular step is one step of many that could be required or will be required. The gentleman mentioned the Corps of Engineers. They're not going to issue a permit if the science is not there. Our own Public Works Department is not going to allow us to go forward if the science and engineering is not there. I won't let us go forward if I'm not convinced.
In other council business, the Lafayette City Council approved an agreement to allow LUS to service new neighborhoods built in Scott city limits. The City Council also approved the $3 million grant that will allow LUS Fiber to extend its services to business along the Highway 90 corridor into St. Martin and Iberia parishes. That item passed unanimously. Still, Councilman Pat Lewis questioned why other parts of the parish, including the north side, weren't included in the grant.
We have a big company that's coming in the County area. The people are going to take advantage of it from, I don't care where they come from, Baton Rouge, Lake Charles, and it's especially Lafayette Parish. And I'm for the, what's going on, but again, I think Lafayette Parish all of Lafayette Parish should be involved in this, what's going on right now, not just Lafayette going south.
LUS Fiber Director Teles Freeman says they're not ignoring the northern part of the city and parish. In fact, Freeman says that the way the grant was worded, they couldn't include the north side.
But we are working additionally to qualify for certain federal funds to be able to offer like federally approved programs for for all low-income households. And we are still actively working on that. That isn't complete yet, but it's one of our big priorities.